Hello, I would like to make for you a raw Snickers slice. This is one of the most delicious things I've ever tasted. It is actually quite healthy for you, but it really satisfies that sweet craving that you might have every now and again. It does have a high fat ratio. I think it's about 63% fats. Okay, so I guess it would fall into the keto kind of desserts, even though I'm not particularly keto. It has a really lovely mouth feel to it, is the thing that I really enjoy about it. And it's kind of been something that I've been making weekly for the last few weeks for my sister and I to have as a bit of an afternoon sweet treat if we want to. Okay, let me show you what's in it. We're going to start off with some cacao powder or cocoa powder and medjool dates. So I'm just going to put all of that into, I've made this a few times now and I know how chocolatey I like it, but you want about 5 tablespoons. I don't think I'll quite hit it there, but that's okay. You can put half a teaspoon of salt in it and a cup of cashews or almonds. Now I've just got almond meal here at the moment. I don't have any cashew nuts here at the moment. So let's do a cup of the meal, a little bit more, there we go. Normally I would use shredded coconut, but I also don't have any of that left at the moment either. So I'm going to do just a coconut flour, which is actually, it actually absorbs quite a lot of moisture. This is going to form the base. So it has a kind of a crunchy base to it. Might actually be a little bit too dry for the George Foreman. Let's see what happens. Bit of vanilla essence. And then I'm just going to press it into the bottom of the pan. So I'm just going to pause it while I go and whiz this all up. Okay, so I've just blended all of those together. I added a bit of date syrup, so I don't use medjool dates. If I don't have them available, I'll just use dried packet dates and I'll soak them in some water overnight or something, and then whatever, just to cover them, and then whatever juice comes out of that I can use for cooking as well. So with this I just added a little bit to make it moist enough that it would hold together. Okay, so I've just pressed it into the bottom of the pan, and the next thing I'm going to do is make the caramel layer. Okay, so I'll show you that now. I'm just going to use the same container because it doesn't bother me that there's a bit of almond flour in here. So for that we need some more dates, 3 teaspoons of coconut oil, here we go. This has gone a little bit hard. 1, thereabouts, it doesn't have to be exact. A little bit of a loose arrangement when it comes to cooking and assembling. Then we've got some more vanilla, and here in the recipe it calls for 3 tablespoons of almond butter, but I don't have almond butter, I only have peanut butter, but I'm okay with that. So now I'm going to use 3 tablespoons of the almond butter, and I'm going to whack that in as well. And again, thereabouts, doesn't have to be exact. But I think this could potentially be a staple in your household too. Kids will probably love it. And if you don't like peanuts, then of course use any other nut that you like, any other nut butter that you like. I'm sure it'll be just as delicious. So this all gets blended together now to make the caramel layer. Right, there it is. Hopefully it won't be too sticky. Hopefully it'll be just right. If it's a little bit too firm and I feel like it needs a bit more moisture, I'll just add some more of that date syrup. Okay. Okay, so I've smushed all that together and it makes a really nice paste. So that's the dates, the peanut butter. You can blend it so it's smoother if you like, but I don't mind it being a little bit more crunchy. And then we just spread that over the top. Once we spread all this relatively evenly over the top, we're going to make the peanut butter mousse that goes as the final layer. Okay, so you could always just put that in the freezer or the fridge while you're waiting, but I don't really think you need to. Now, putting this to the side again, we're going to make the mousse. So we need 2 cans of full fat coconut milk or cream. Now I've had these refrigerated overnight, so really we only want the milk, the creamy solids. We don't want the runny milky bit. So keep that aside, put in the fridge or freezer and use that in a curry or something. Making a bit of a mess. But yeah, I can see that the milk solids are on the top and the watery stuff's at the bottom. Because we don't want it to be too soft. Otherwise the mousse won't hold together very well. You didn't see that. Okay, here we go. Final little bits. It'll just about do it. I'm telling you, this will be a favourite in your household, I'm sure of it. Everyone I make this for loves it. Now we're going to have 3/4 of a cup of peanut butter. What do I do with my cup? There it is. And you know what? I'm just going to use this one. It's nearly all gone. You can see we actually do make this quite a bit. I keep meaning to make one for my son to take it over to him. Just haven't made it over here yet. Sorry, mate. Maybe next week. I've just tipped off the top of the oil. I don't want it to be that oily. Roughly 3/4 of a cup. If it's a bit more, like I said, it doesn't matter. Pop that in. Two tablespoons of maple syrup, and you can put a pinch of salt in as well. But I tend not to. I don't think it needs it. 1, 2. Okay, lid on and back to be whizzed up. This is pretty full, but there'll be a bit of air in there anyway. Okay, so it's all in here about to get whizzed up, and this is the peanut butter mousse. So here we have our coconut cream peanut butter mousse. It's got some maple syrup in it, as you saw. And I'm going to put this over the top of the nut base and the caramel layer. I am actually thinking about adding some of the casein custard from the Gentech vanilla panna cotta flavour. I'm actually going to have an experiment to see whether I can even boost the protein of this, because it doesn't have a huge protein profile. I'll tell you what it is. It's 11% roughly protein, and usually I put all my ingredients of what I'm using into the MyFitnessPal straight away, so that I have a very accurate reading for every batch that I'm making. This protein split that I gave you before of 11% is from an earlier batch that I made. It had 63% fats and 28% carbs. So just going to spread that around, and then we stick it in the freezer. Once it's been in the freezer for a few hours, usually a few hours, 3 or 4 is good. Overnight's probably better. Then take it out of the freezer, put it on the bench for a little bit until you can get a hot knife through it and cut it into your squares. And then I put it into a container so that you can just grab a portion controlled size. You can have 2 or 3 if you want to, but at least then if you're tracking your protein and your macros in your MyFitnessPal, you'll know exactly how much you're having. So ta-da, this is what it looks like now. So you saw me make the 3 layers. It's going in the freezer, okay? And will I take it out and show it to you? I don't think I'll be able to. Probably eat it all before then anyway. Anyway, I'll put the recipe up underneath this so you can have a try of it for yourself and let me know what you think. I think you're gonna love it. All right, bye for now.